What's up, everybody? It is Coach Sam here. And in this episode of the Coach's Corner, we are going to be talking about tips, suggestions, advice on your first week of school as a college basketball player. A lot of this stuff is targeted for college players, but it's also very relevant if you are just a high school player. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My goal on this channel is to make you the best basketball player that you can become. I do a lot of videos talking about skill development, basketball training, but also your overall mentality. I am currently a college head coach. I've been a longtime coach for about 15 years now. So I feel very excited and I feel knowledgeable about not only teaching the game of basketball from a fundamental standpoint, but also giving you the best advice that I can if you're a player and you're looking to play college basketball. So in this video, I've got 8 different tips/suggestions for you as you begin school. At the time of this video, it is August 8th, and I know we start on the 19th. So you guys are most likely, depending on when you see this video, you will probably be starting up in the next few weeks. And so a lot of this advice here and a lot of the stuff we're going to go over should be relevant, should be able to help you to get off to a great start in your college career or in high school. Again, a lot of it will be similar. A lot of it will be material and advice that you can carry over with you from high school to college, but also in the specific time that we're in right now, it'll be very useful for you. So what I'm going to do also, I've started a personal training Facebook group. The link for that will be down below in the description. So if you're interested in getting my one-on-one personal training, and it's not just shooting, it can be about anything in that group. Specifically, we will talk a lot about shooting. You're able to go in there, upload videos of yourself. I will personally give you feedback. If you want to upload your video in the group, or you can send me a direct message and I will give you feedback there. All you got to do is film yourself and a few different angles. I give kind of instructions on what I'd like to see specifically, but you do that and I will give you feedback. The group also has a 100-page document of all the different type of shooting drills that you can imagine. Every single thing, mid-range from 3, shots off the dribble, shots on the move, 100-page document. It's got, like I said, evaluations from me where I will give you breakdowns and feedback on your shot. And then we will also be doing a weekly question and answer segment on the Facebook group where, again, you can ask anything that you'd like, whether it's about shooting, defense, your overall game, how to get into college, how to help your recruitment, anything like that. We will be going over it in the Facebook group. So join that in the link below. Now, most of you guys are here for, let's go ahead and talk about some tips and suggestions as you begin school coming up here soon. The first thing I want to talk about is balancing your academics and athletics. All right, so especially if you are now going into college, it's a lot different than high school, and it's a lot more beneficial, in my opinion. In high school, you are going to school from 8 a.m. to 3. There's not a lot of management you have to do. You are in school. You're in school. You have to be there from 8 to 3. And then after that, you figure out your basketball and maybe weight training. But in college, it's a lot different, okay? Your requirement as far as being in class is a lot less. So typically you might be, Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays, you have a class or two. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have a couple classes. You might have 4 classes in total, but 1 or 2 of them every single day. So you have more free time. So the first thing I want to talk about is balancing your free time with athletics. What you need to do is get an organizer on your phone and make sure you write down your entire class schedule a few days as early as you can. As soon as you get your class schedule, write it down Monday through Friday. Know exactly what times your classes are, where they're at, and put it in your calendar so that you see when you need to go to class, but also when you have certain openings. You might have a class from 8 to 9:30, but your next class isn't until 12:30. So you've got a 2-hour gap there where you can and should be doing something and being efficient with your time. So write down your calendar. Next, if you're at a bigger school especially, you need to go the day before and see exactly where your classes are at. Just because it's the first day of class does not give you a free pass to be late or miss your class. So make sure you know where your classes are and you have your schedule figured out. Next, you're going to obviously have your basketball practice set in stone. You'll probably have your weight session as well, but you should be looking at your schedule and looking for other gaps where you can be efficient with your time. I'll give that same example. You have class from 9:30 to 10:45, but your next class isn't until 12:30. So what are you going to be doing from 10:45 to 12:30? That's what I want you to think about. So you can do several things. Here's a few suggestions. Number one, especially if you're on campus and your dorm's not nearby, look around and figure out a good study area. Maybe it's the library. Maybe it's a nearby little cafe area that you like, and you can get a coffee and you like the scenery and it's a good spot for you to just relax and get some extra studying in. Maybe you are near your dorm and it's a good opportunity for you to go back to your dorm, get something to eat, re-energize. But figure out what you're going to do during those hours that you have breaks in between your classes. Now, once your classes are done, obviously everybody's schedule is a little bit different, but next you're looking at a situation where you've got your practice and weight room session and maybe even study hall after that. So after your classes, you might have 3 to 4 hours basically locked in to your schedule. So I'm not going to go over that necessarily, but let's talk about what are you doing after that. Let's say 5 o'clock till 10. What you should not be doing is just going to your room and playing video games all day. Don't be that guy. Don't be that player. You're wasting your life away. It's a waste of your time. When you are playing video games, somebody else out there is working on their game. They're getting better while you are playing a video game for no reason. Instead, think about what you can be doing with your time to maximize your overall potential. Here's a few things. Extra workouts if you're not working out hard enough or long enough in the gym. Flexibility training. Maybe you had a strong weight room session, but you're not working on your flexibility enough. Work on your overall mobility and flexibility. You can do that inside of your dorm. Okay. Here's a few other things. Maybe you are done with your homework. You're done with your basketball training. What are you doing on the side to really work on your overall brand, your overall resume? Are you working to try to create some side income for yourself through social media outlets, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube? Start figuring out what things you can be doing now that 4 or 5 years from now, you're going to be thanking yourself when you're done playing basketball. And you're going to be happy that you started this little side gig, this side hustle to really help you out now that you are done with your playing career. So maximize every single minute. And again, stop playing video games and doing stuff that's not going to help you out in your life. All right. So those are the biggest tips when it comes to your academics and juggling, academics and athletics and kind of figuring out a good timetable for yourself. Next, number 2, I want to talk about setting early season goals. And I'm talking specifically about yourself. At the beginning of the school year, you might not know where you're at in the rotation. You might have a lot of players on the team. You might think you're one of the best. You might think you're one of the worst. You might not know yet. So what I want you to do, instead of thinking about team goals, it's not time to think about winning a championship, winning conference. I want you to think about what you can do on a daily and weekly basis, and then even on a monthly scale, to improve your overall ability and your overall mindset. So, for example, maybe you shoot 50 threes every single day. You start off making 20, 22 threes. By the end of the week, you need to be having a goal of hitting 25 out of 50. By the end of the month, can you be a guy that hits 30 out of 50? Academically, maybe you were a C, B student in high school. Can you be an A, B student now that you are in college? Again, let's get back to flexibility. Maybe you can barely get down below your knees when you try to touch your toes. By the end of the month, can you be touching your toes and the ground? So these are the small goals that over time build up to bigger and bigger goals. Same thing in the weight room, right? You're benching 200 right now. Can by the end of the month, you be benching 210, 215 and really improve in all the different lifts that you're doing. So think about setting these goals for yourself on an individual basis so that you can really focus on eventually becoming the best person and player that you can become. Number 3, establish a routine. Routines are very important for yourself when you're in college, where you do have a lot of free time, but it's also going to be important for yourself throughout your entire life. So I want you to consider a very strict routine. When you wake up in the morning, what are you doing? Are you a guy that goes to the cafeteria, gets the similar type things every single day, gets coffee to get you up, glass of water? Do you have a routine that is efficient and wakes you up, and then throughout the day, you're able to follow it and keep you on track to keep on reaching your goals? What you don't want to do is something different every single day, and that makes it hard to track your overall progress. Just for example, if you're a guy that is trying to improve your bench press, but you're not consistent with it, you bench one day and the next day you're supposed to do it Thursday, but you take that day off, a few days go by, and suddenly that consistency, it's going to really hurt you in the long run. So a routine is very important for not only your body physically to know kind of what's coming up, but mentally. When you are in a good routine, you then don't have to spend time and energy thinking about what you can or what you should be doing in that moment. Okay, it's 12 o'clock. I lift at 12 o'clock. It's just what I do. There's no back and forth with yourself. Once you establish a routine and you set standards for yourself, you're able to avoid the negotiations with yourself. I think Kobe Bryant said it best. He said, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. every single day, and I signed that contract with myself, and there is no negotiation. So become that type of guy that creates a great routine that it's something that you can do. It's not something too much, not over the top, but it's something that you can do that's beneficial every single day. You're maximizing your time, and then do not negotiate with yourself. If you say you're going to do it and you told yourself this is what we're going to do every day, then when it becomes that time, that's what you're doing. Whether it's the weight room, whether it's your academics, whether it's extra training on the side, or whether it's your personal ability, like we talked about, to create extra side income and work on yourself. Those are non-negotiables, but establish a routine that you can stick to. All right, number 4, this one's more of a holistic point of view, building team chemistry. Now, this is important because throughout a lot of this, there's different parts of the season, your preseason, your in season, and then your off season, that the chemistry is going to hit different highs and lows. But this beginning part of the season, it's very important to build great team chemistry. And I want you individually to think about what you can be doing. And a great thing that I like to tell our players and all players in general is to lead yourself. What does this mean? It means don't be the guy that in the first few weeks you're out there trying to tell everybody what to do. You're talking so much in pickup. You're trying too hard to be the leader, and instead it's turning people off. Instead, lead yourself, lead by example. Show people what to do. Don't just talk about what to do. Show up early to weights, to pickup, to whatever team things or even classroom things you're supposed to be doing. Show people what it looks like to be doing the right things. And as a result, they will follow you. You will get followers. You will be shown as a leader. People will look up to you because you are doing the right things, and it will become noticeable, not just to your teammates, but to the coaches as well. As a coach, I look at what somebody does, not what they say. I always tell our guys, it sounds good. What are you doing? What do you do? It sounds good. You're going to go to class every day, but what are you doing? We see you late there every single day. So lead by example. Lead yourself first before you worry about leading anybody else. Along with the chemistry, you might not like Billy John on your team. You might not like this player. You might not like his game. It's not time to start creating problems within your team dynamics, to fight within your teammates. Instead, if you don't like somebody, just leave them alone. There's no point in making it known that you don't like a certain player. All right. So that's what I really encourage you to do, is to lead yourself, lead by example. And if you do that, you will have people that follow your lead, and it's going to lead to greater success in season. And then after the season, people will notice it and people will follow your lead. All right, number 5. A lot of these now we've touched on different aspects of it, but we'll get more into them here. Is going to be your overall fitness and conditioning. And we've talked briefly about lifting weights and flexibility, but especially in the first few weeks and in the preseason, whatever team you're on and depending on what level you're on, there's going to be different levels of your overall conditioning and fitness. Some programs you might be lifting hard 6-7 days a week. You might be on a program, maybe you're in high school, beginning high school, and the team doesn't even lift together. I remember we didn't lift in high school. So just because your team does not lift does not mean that it's okay for you to not lift. Just because your team is not doing conditioning doesn't mean it's okay for you to not be conditioning. You need to do what you can to separate yourself not only from your teammates, but from everybody else in the country that you're competing with on a regular basis as you are trying to move up and up and up to higher and higher levels. You're not trying to just be the best player on your team. You're trying to excel and be one of the best in the country. And if you take this serious enough, depending on your ability, you're trying to go to the NBA potentially. So don't compare yourself to what just your teammates are doing. You need to know that you need to be doing certain things every single day. Your fitness needs to be at top notch. Your conditioning level needs to be at a high level, and you need to be working to achieve those things. So figure out what your team is doing. And if it's not enough, which I'll tell you right now, you need to be lifting 6 days a week. I'll say one day is fine to take off. And during that day, you should be stretching. You should be working on mobility things. Cardio. I'd encourage you to do a lot of sprints, high intensity cardio, because that's more relevant and carries over a lot more towards a basketball game than long distance running and running around for 3-4 miles. Instead, work on short sprints where you're going from baseline to baseline, suicides, those type of things. If you're in a gym doing stuff like the incline, Stairmaster on an incline, those things are good to really get your heart rate up. I'd say 3 to 4 times a week, especially if you're not doing a whole lot as a team. Number 6, understanding the playbook. And maybe more general statement would be understanding the team concepts. So in the early preseason, you might not have a whole lot of things to work with. You probably haven't put in plays yet. You might not know what your defense and offensive concepts are going to be. But whatever your coach is talking about, even if it is in pickup, you need to be focused and locked in. Don't be that guy that's just shaking his head. Yeah, coach, okay, I got you. And then you go play pickup and you're not utilizing any of the things he's talking about. If he's talking about sprinting back on defense, you need to really emphasize that in your game. If he's teaching you to be in the gaps on defense and you're out there denying the ball, then you are not understanding the concepts. And even though you might not be into real practice yet, trust me, the coaches are paying attention to who is trying to apply and who's having success applying the concepts that they are trying to teach, even if it is in pickup. So pay attention to what they're saying, apply them to the pickup games the best that you can, and then work to increase them. If they talk about passing the ball more, coming off ball screens, and you're somebody that doesn't know how to use ball screens, then figure out better methods to use ball screens. Figure out better reads. Ask your coaches if you're making the right read. All right, so figure out what they want, learn how to do those things, and then look how to take them to a higher and higher level over time once you do understand what they're looking for. All right, number 7, stay mentally focused. It's very easy the first few weeks of school to get distracted. And this kind of goes back to having a good routine. But especially if you're at a bigger school and there's lots of partying going on, there's different fraternities, you got all these different types of distractions that are going on. FOMO, if you're not familiar, fear of missing out is a high priority for many college kids especially. And you have this fear of, if I miss out on this party, is something going to be cool over there? I'm going to miss out on it. I better do this or that. You need to stay focused on your priorities. And if you're a basketball player that's trying to take this seriously, it needs to be books, number 1, and then basketball. If you don't have the academics, you're not going to be eligible, then basketball will be gone before you know it. So stay on top of your academics. Once that's done, figure out what you can do throughout the day to maximize your time when it comes to basketball and your overall training and stay focused. Do not let extra distractions and things that are going to hurt your overall body, your mentality, and your habits get in the way of the goals that you're trying to achieve. All right, number 8, the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be your overall communication with your coaches. Now, I want to bring back one of the points I talked about earlier, which was be seen and not heard. Do not be out there trying to impress your coach by being the loudmouth in all the pickup games. And every time you see the coach, you feel like you have to say something so that the coach hears you. Trust me, as a current coach, we notice that, and it does not impress us. What impresses us is what we see you do with your actions, not with what you say. Sounds good. Hey, guys, we're going to be at class 5 minutes early, but then you show up 5 minutes late. That's all that we really care about. So keep that in mind, is your actions speak louder than your words. But now when we talk about communicating with your coaches, it is absolutely fine and encouraged for you to go up to them, here and there. Coach, what can I do better? Hey, I know you watched this in pickup today, coach. What did you think about my game? What do I need to work on? What did you think I did good out there? And establish a good relationship with your coach and have a mentality of being a guy that has thick skin, meaning your coach can critique you and you're not going to take it personal. You're not going to put your head down and think that coach is picking on you. You're able to take criticism and realize that they have your best interest at the end of the day, and you're able to take it in a positive way, and you're able to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what you can do to fix whatever coach is talking about needs to be fixed. So have good communication with your coaches. Don't overdo it thinking that you need to say something or ask them something every single day. For the most part, if the coach sees something that he needs you to do better, he's going to let you know. Now it's up to you to take what he gives you and to apply it into the pickup or your workouts, whatever aspect of the season you are on. So that's going to be our 8 things that I want you to really focus on in the first week or 2 of school as you begin either high school or in college. And these 8 things will put you off to a great start for your college coaching, for your college basketball career. So that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to hang on for a few more minutes and see if anybody else jumps on. If you're watching this now on a recorded session, hit the subscribe button. I post videos every single week about basketball shooting, basketball training, the overall mentality. And we have just started doing now the Coach's Corner videos where, I might not have as much time to get out on the court and do demonstration videos. But when I do have this extra time, as you can see, I'm in my house right now. I got the fan in the background. But when I've got this extra time, I want to be able to get on here, give some feedback to you guys, give you my knowledge about what I know, both as a former college player and now a longtime college coach. I love coaching. I love inspiring players. And my goal on this channel is to help you guys all to become the best players that you can become. So I wish everybody the best as we do start our school year. It can be a very exciting time for many of you, but I've also seen so many players just get off to a bad start. You miss that first class, you miss that first workout, you're late here or there. That'll be one of the quickest ways to kind of get in the hole with your coach. I don't encourage you to do that. Get off to a great start, make a great first impression with your coaches. And when it comes to the heat of the moment and you're right maybe in the middle of the pack, you're not a bottom player, but you're not just a no-brainer top guy. You're somewhere in the middle. Hey, is this guy going to travel with us to the games? Is he going to make our main rotation? They're going to remember you as the guy that showed up on time, that worked his butt off, came to every single class a few minutes early. Those things will be difference makers. And starting off your school sessions the right way will be a huge first impression on your coaches. So that's going to wrap it up. Again, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Welcome to the channel, and I'll see you guys all on the next episode.